So now you know. I'm sorry, it's just me. Wendy's really sick. So normally we tag team these updates. So you're just going to have to listen to me for a little bit on some of these updates. We've had 2 night of storytellings since we met last, and they were both very fun. And well, fun's interesting, well attended. The first one was with Pam Wester, who just got back from Poland of working in a ministry there called Elam, where they were helping process Ukrainian refugees. And then the second one was a woman from Guatemala who represented really a community of 34 women. I think it's 34 who
It's something like that, yeah.
Who have developed this co-op in town, this small town. And she talked all about how that developed and all that, but I'll have Bob and Jean give you a little report of that in a minute. So the storytelling night with Sue Wester, there was, how many folks were there? Almost 25, I think. So well attended. Sue talked all about some of the stories of the people that she'd met there. She's planning to go back. There was one person who expressed interest at the night of storytelling to go back with her and serve if he's needed there, which I thought that'd be awesome. Sue came home because her husband had his 3rd knee replacement on the same knee, and so she's nursing him back to health. There wasn't hardly anything left of the knee, so like he cannot put any weight on it at all and can't for like 6 weeks. So there was so much anyway, so Sue is with, her husband's name is Paul. And so she's here for a while until Paul can make it on his own. And then she's going back to, at least that's her plan today. So I think probably the funnest story that she shared was about this woman that she met whose fiance actually worked in Sweden. So he wasn't in Ukraine. If he was in Ukraine, he'd be required to join the army or fight, I don't know, whatever their military force is. And they had planned to get married, but didn't because of the whole Ukrainian thing. And so they rearranged the wedding so that he flew to Poland and they had the wedding, and Sue got to attend by FaceTime. So life goes on. You make it work, even though you gave up on your big wedding in Ukraine. You've got your wedding in Poland, and you just keep going. So that's a little report for that. Bob and Jean, give us a 3-minute report on our second night of our pop-up night of storytelling.
Yeah, well, it really was kind of pop-up because it just kind of happened. Dennis and Wendy had talked to us potentially about reimagining what was the bookstore space into like a fair trade market space, and I had been talking about how we didn't necessarily want to just keep a whole bunch of the same inventory that people weren't looking at. We were trying to figure out how to do it in an innovative way, and I talked about the possibility of having occasional sales where artists show up, the people that actually create things show up, we fly them in, or they happen to be in the United States and we bring them here. And one of these things just popped up. A friend of mine, Brent Braunstrup, who is a retired Covenant pastor, and now he spends his time running a fair trade coffee business. He brought Miriam Novichok of San Juan La Laguna, Guatemala here, representing a women's cooperative, textile cooperative called Casa Flor Ixcaco. Ixcaco is a native species of cotton, so it's the house of the cotton flower. Anyway, they do handmade, hand-spun, hand-dyed, hand-woven textiles and of various kinds. And so she brought a couple of trunks up, and so we set up and had her here at Crossroads. And so that was a big diversion for Jean and I for a couple of weeks. So we're just kind of coming back up for air. But anyway, it was very much successful. We had about, 12 people, 15, somewhere on that order, people there. People were very engaged. Miriam doesn't speak much English. You can sort of communicate pleasantries in English, but if you really want to talk, Spanish is the language you want. So we had a fluent Spanish translator there, Brent's daughter, came and helped translate, so we could ask questions and she could tell stories and not worry too much about the whole trying to pick the right words to say. So it was a very good time. Miriam is Mayan, Sutahil Mayan. And so people here at Crossroads got a chance to hear the stories of somebody who lives someplace where most of us never go, although I've been there twice. So there was a lot of conversation about who wants to go like next spring for Holy Week, because the Guatemalans really know how to do Holy Week right, and it's an amazing time. So I think one of the big goals I had in doing this thing was for people to meet somebody who we often think of as other, and discover that they're not really all that different. And so I think that mission was accomplished.
Yeah, it was. Thank you for bringing her and organizing that whole thing. It was wonderful, really. I mean, there's just something real about this person who works in a little village in Guatemala is now standing in our front room and
Yes.
talking about her life that's pretty different than life here. But I heard a statement one time that's so true. Cultures are more different than the people in them. And you think, oh, it's a woman who wants to raise her family. She has a husband, she has a little girl, she wants to make a good living, she wants to live in peace, she wants her community to thrive, she wants her kids to be educated. She wants exact same things that we want.
Yes.
So it's like, well, it was just great. Thank you again for working that and making that happen, a quick turnaround. Again, the purpose of the Night of Storytelling is just to do that, to tell stories so that it expands our understanding of the world and the people in the world. So that was really accomplished, I thought.
Well, I appreciate your support, Dennis, with that, because you were coming back from seeing your kids in Salida and you just dove right in like you usually do, just head first.
Yeah, we really do appreciate it.
Well, I like this stuff, I just do. It's fascinating to me. People bought stuff.
People did buy stuff, and I helped run another pop-up that Miriam did at AKA Kitchen on the next day, on Wednesday. And there it seemed like all of the local weaving guild textile type people showed up, and they bought well there at AKA Kitchen. So
Good.
So I think she was very pleased.
Wonderful. Yeah, I got to because Miriam was here, I bought a shawl that a woman had made in that her cooperative. And of course, Miriam knows them all. And so I just took my shawl to Miriam and got the translator, got Amy, and just said, tell me about this woman who made this shawl. And that, because it has her name and a picture on the tag and how long it took her to make it, 2 weeks for this shawl.
Yes.
And it was just fun to have that connection to this person, even though, I haven't met her and who knows if I ever will, but which I think is the whole point of Night of Storytelling. And, part of our whole mission is to create relationships that where the 5 unacceptables can be addressed. And if there was ever an evening when some of the unacceptables were addressed, she talked about the value of education. That was pretty insightful.
A lot of what they're doing is earning cash so that they can pay for their kids to go to school.
Yeah, it's, here, you have to go to school. There, like, they have to work to go to school.
Yeah, it's not that expensive, but not that expensive is very expensive in Guatemala.
Yeah, yeah. So well done. Thank you for making that happen. I look forward to, the next one, whether it's one regularly scheduled night of storytelling, or if it's, hey, this person's around. And I just encourage the rest of the team, if you can, to try to make these night of storytelling. It just expands our understanding and deepens our relationships as well. The next update is some other things that have been going on. And the reason I'm doing this is just to, everybody's in their little world or big world. And you know what's going on in your world. I know what's going on in this world and others. And sometimes we don't know what all we're doing as a team. So that's why these little updates are important, is to just say, this is what's going on. We've re-engaged our Lorraine Edmondson Elementary School partnership. We had a pie night a couple of months ago, but since then there've been there's 3 things. We've had 2 activities, and then there's 1 project coming up. We had last Thursday night, we had what's called a STEM night at the school, and STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. And so they had a night where they've invited all the parents and all the kids to come. And in each classroom, they had a different fun activity that related to one of those 4 topics. So it was great. There was like 10 Crossroads volunteers there. And I went, and they paired us up with a teacher. And then we did the activity for every kid and parent that came into the room. So like my activity was, we got some balloons. This was a science project on static electricity. So we had a bunch of balloons. You have the kids rub them on their head, rub them on their shirt, and then you had an empty Coke can laying on a side, and you put the balloon up and tried to pull it with the static electricity from the balloon.
Oh.
So it was really fun. The good thing, I was telling Ryan Howell today, the good thing about it is we got to meet almost every kid and every parent and have a 5-minute interaction with them because of this. When we serve pizza and pie, you don't really interact with the parents or the kids. You serve it, they come get it, take it back. But here you're actually,
Interacting. Yeah, that's a good thing.
It was really fun. I took some pictures of everybody who was there, but I thought there were 2 comments that I thought were telling. When we showed up, Trish, who's the principal, I said, "Hey, Trish, how you doing?" She goes, "It's a lot better now that you all are here." And I thought, that's the reputation we want to have. We show up and people are glad we're there. It's not like, oh, what are we going to do with those church people? So, and then I had a woman, this was at the pie night, actually stopped me and thanked me. And she said, we don't really come to services on the weekend, but our kids go to your kids camp and we appreciate what you're doing. So I thought, what, that's the gospel. That's loving your neighbor. And so, and then the other thing that's happening at Edmondson, this is the 3rd thing, is they asked us as a part of our Project Hope, if we would repaint the inside of their gym. They have a little gym. It's tall ceiling. It's their cafeteria. It's their activity room. It's the kitchen's off the end of the gym, all of that. It was painted in the 70s, I think. And they asked us if we'd repaint the inside. But with this caveat, it had to be done by May 26th.
Ouch.
Because they're going to tear up the gym this summer. It's got asbestos in the flooring. And so they have to close off the school and clear it all out and all that. So we did a little site visit with Jeff Matthews, who's the leader of Hope Builders. And we talked to them about, we just can't do it. You got kids in here. We're going to be painting. There's going to be odors. There's going to be people underfoot. We can't do it. And the school won't let us do it. So anyway, long story short, we're going to do it summer of 23. And that's going to be our big Hope Builders project. We'll use a lot of volunteers. There's a lot of gym to paint. You can reach from the floor without ever having to get on a ladder or lift. So we're gonna do that. They were very excited. They were a little disappointed we couldn't do it this year, but lots of disappointments in life, right? So that's Edmondson. The only other thing, I don't really have a Ukraine update from Marion yet about Ukraine in Romania. But last weekend, if you were there, we partnered with this Alzheimer's organization called Ride to End Alzheimer's. There's a woman in our church named Lucy Summer who developed Alzheimer's probably 8, 9, 10 years ago. She's still living at her house. Her husband died. Bill was like 99. Lucy's probably pushing 100, but she has daughters, and each of them come and stays with her like for a month at a time. None of them live here. And so they asked us if we would do this, promote this ride to end Alzheimer's, which is the day after the gala. So we said we would. And so last weekend, if you were there, we had a big partner display. We talked a little bit about joining the race. The race is here. And anyway, without getting into a lot of details, but the response was terrific. There was probably 24, 7, 10, maybe a dozen people that signed up to either volunteer or go on the race. And so that was very encouraging to the family that we would just get behind them and support them and love on them in this way. So that's the update on Ride to End Alzheimer's. So you'll see it, it'll be in the feed and whatnot, because it's not till June the 12th. But one of the sisters was here with the director from Ride to End Alzheimer's. She came up from Denver to be here for the day. And it was really fun to have him there. So that's Ride to End Alzheimer's. Any questions about any of that? Sorry, I'm just yakking here.
All right.
So the gala, all right, I'm changing. Thank you, Roland, for that heartfelt icon. The gala, I can't give some of these reports because I'm not a part of these, like the creative team report. I can't give that. The kids' peace party is going to happen. Jennifer is going to head that up with Patty and Janie, but Jennifer's not here, so we can't get that little update. The Visionary Donors Lunch. That's, I think I did mention this at our last meeting. We are trying to raise, this is just a guess, $20,000 in a matching fund ahead of the gala so that we can leverage and encourage and inspire people to give at the gala. It's a matching fund. It's a bit of a gimmick. It just is, but it does make a difference. So the other thing it does is it helps people ahead of time pray through what they'd like to do. And then it also encourages people when they get on a train that's already moving and instead of a train that we're trying to get moving. So to be able to announce at the gala, we have, this many people who've said we're in and we're on board and we want to encourage this. So that's what it is. And so we're doing this Visionary Donors Lunch and you're all invited. Okay, this is your personal invitation to come. It would be great to have our whole team there, regardless of what you decide to do about the matching fund, whether you could participate or not. It's at the Wilson's house. It was supposed to be at the new house, but they don't close on that house till they finally got a date, June 17th. So they have to move out of their house by next weekend, the 15th. So they're going to live in a house up at Red Feather, who some of you know, Jack and Lauren Benzel. Anyway, they have a house up at Red Feather, which is big. And they offered their house to the Howell family and mom and brother and 2 dogs.
Wow. Okay.
So they're going to have a 45-minute commute for a month. But it's a pretty spot, right? I mean, it's beautiful up there.
It is a nice place.
So anyway, all that to say, the lunch is going to be at Wilson's house. They live out by Boyd Lake. Did any of you get the letter today? We invited a group of people to come, and it's not a you all come. It's here's people who we think would be interested in this, and invited them. Yep. So you're invited to come. You should get a letter soon. I mailed a bunch of them last week. Some of them went in the mail today. So in the next few days, you should get a letter, and you can RSVP if you want to come to the lunch. There's a QR code on it. You can scan that in, or you can just, text me and go, hey, sign me up for the lunch and I'll sign you up. But that's coming. And we invited 54 households, if you will, to come to that lunch. And the goal is to just give people some time ahead of time to help us leverage their commitment and giving at the gala. So that's what that's for. We're going to launch the gala promo this weekend. Okay, so there'll be an announcement about the gala. And then the next weekend on the 15th, this team, are going to do an announcement. Okay, we call it the ministry moment. And we're going to need some help to do it. And so we don't need everybody from this team to do it, but we're going to need probably, 5 of us or so. And we might invite somebody from the auction, although Roland, you could probably explain the auction just fine. But what we're going to do is kind of a little skit, if you will, just to create some interest. And we have an angle on a skit, so we'll let you know more about it. But the angle is to get up and start doing the announcement, and somebody bids from the floor. Hey, I'll give, I'm bidding on a short sermon by Ryan Howe, right? How many want to give to that? That sort of thing. And then we'll have some people from the team explain the gala. They'll come up on the stage. That's later. The gala's on the 11th, blah blah blah. So anyway, we'll be contacting you because we will have to have a rehearsal. Okay. I'm not sure when the rehearsal will be necessarily. I'm gone from Thursday through next Friday. We're going back to Salida, but we'll still have a rehearsal sometime. So we just want to create some interest and do something besides stand up there and tell people about the gala. Ticket sales go for the gala start this weekend. So the tickets are $25 for adults age, whatever it is, 13 and older. Tickets are $10 for children. I can't remember what the ages are. And then you can also buy a table, where if you want to buy a table and invite people that, you get one free spot if you buy a table. So there's a table price and then there's 2 ticket prices. So that we're going to start encouraging people to get tickets this weekend. We're going to start having a gala table or area display in the atrium. And I think it's starting this weekend. Again, I don't have the details because Wendy's overseeing this part of it. But
is this the event volunteers thing?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Did you get a invitation to an event? I'm not sure. We're going to have a display in the atrium, and we need one of our team to be at it every Sunday till the gala.
Okay.
Are we talking about the same thing, or is that something different, Bob?
I don't know. I'm looking at the spreadsheet.
Okay.
At a hard copy of the spreadsheet.
I got you.
There's this event volunteers thing, and your name is on it.
Yeah, so that's helping find volunteers for the whole event.
Oh, okay.
Not just this table. This table needs to be people who can answer questions about the gala, which this team can do. So I put together a little Google sheet. And just for those of you who are here, I've got every date from now till the gala. And I'm wondering, I'm just going to read the dates. And if any of you can do one of these, please raise your hand and go, we'll do that one. Okay. It would be great if everybody could do one, and then we'd have them all covered.
Yeah.
So,
I think we could do one. I don't see any.
But I want to read the dates. I will send this Google sheet out. So if you could take one, like you don't know what your calendar is right now, I'm just going to quickly go, can anybody do this? And then I'll send the Google sheet to the whole team, and then you can fill in whenever you can do it. Okay. And I think the creative team is setting up the table or the display, whatever that is. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be up this weekend, but I'm not for sure. So again, this is Wendy's area. So is anybody available this Sunday? And I think you got to show up 10 minutes before the service and stay till like 11:30, till the crowd kind of, it's clear nobody else is coming. And what you do is answer questions. There'll be a lot of questions probably about the auction. And we'll sell tickets to, hey, you want to buy a ticket? And all the ticket sales are online. So you just take them to the website and show them here, write your name in here, and here's your put your credit card information in, blah, blah, blah. There's a QR code as well, so people can do it on their phone. So is anybody available this Sunday?
We could be.
I think we could be.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. The 15th of May. Can anybody do that one?
Checking the dates, one moment.
Okay, thanks, Roland. That's the day of our skit, for lack of a better word. Our creative ministry moment that promotes the gala. How's that better than skit?
What time is that request?
You need to be there 10 minutes before the service, like 8:50, and stay till the services, people have sort of left. So about 11:30, honestly, is, no, 10:30.
8:50 in the morning to 10:30?
Yep.
I could do the 15th of May.
Okay, Roland, you're on. And since you're there, we'll probably use you in the creative announcement too, if you're up for it.
Oh, I'm up for it.
Okay, May 22nd. Who wants that one?
I think I can do the 22nd.
Okay, awesome, Bree, thank you.
Do you think the childcare, I'll be able to leave her in there a little bit longer?
You'd want to let them know, hey, I'm going to be late.
Okay.
Or you could even say, yeah, that won't work. I was going to say, have them bring her out to you, but that won't work if you're answering questions for people.
Yeah, not with how wild she is, but
Yeah, okay.
yeah, and then I could always ask Darren too, if he has to stay late that day or not, but I'm sure I can figure it out.
May 29th. Anybody want that one? Shelby, I guess you're it. If that
That's
doesn't-
me,
Yeah, I mean, can you? And then there's
May
June 5th.
29th.
Yeah, and then there's June 5th.
When's our gala, the 10th?
It's the 11th. It's the week after, the Saturday after the June 5.
29th. Wait, oh, May 29th. Okay, yeah, I can do that.
Okay, you're on for May 29th. Thank you. And we'll send a reminder as well. So it's like, what week was I doing this? Okay, all right, that's perfect. Thank you. Okay. Couple more things. Auction items. Okay, a couple updates on the auction. We use a software program called Octria, and we have a password. It's a free version. There, as with most of these, there's an upgrade version, but we're using the free version. And so everybody who donates an item will be entered into this Octria application. It's an app, actually, and it has all kinds of functions which are wonderful. You can email the donors, and you can keep track, and we keep track of all the bids in Octria. Everybody gets a bid number assigned to them in Octria. So everything except the tickets from the fundraising night, from the gala, will be under Octria. And this is just for your information, so you kind of know how it's going to be run. We're going to try to get 30 items. Initially we talked about 50. But the way we're going to run the auction is we're going to, rather than have these 15 items, they close at 5:30. Here's another table with 15 items. They close at 6 o'clock. Here's another table of 15 items. They close at 6:30. Rather than do it that way, what we're going to do is we're going to stagger all of them so that 2 items close at 5:20, the next 2 at 5:30, the next 2 at 5:40, so that people, we don't have this flurry of people at the last minute trying to get an item. And the other thing is, bidding will be on your phone or on iPads in the atrium. Everybody can download an app. You can bid. In fact, you don't even have to be there to bid on an item. You could be somewhere else if you want it, and you just have to make sure. It's kind of like eBay, where there's a time frame where it closes, and whoever's at the top of the pile at that moment gets it. The reason we're doing it that way is because the checkout process is so much more streamlined And this gives people an opportunity, if they missed that item, they can move on to another item. It prevents people from standing around seeing who else is bidding on an item.
Yeah.
That's happened. Roland knows about that. Oh, I want that, yeah, but I want, that sort of thing. And you hate to sort of trump somebody. So all of that will be online. Nobody's going to know who's bidding on what, other than that there's a higher bid than yours. So we're going to try it. Okay. We'll see if it works. We opted to go with 30 items of $100 minimum value, just because we feel like we want, again, we won't start the bidding at $100. But we felt like, since we're going to stagger things and you can really only close 2 items about every 5 minutes, that actually is about all we can do. So we thought, well, let's give it a try, get 30 higher quality items. There's plenty of opportunities for people to give if they don't want to do the silent auction at this fundraiser. It's not like, oh, this is my only chance. So again, we'll see. That's the auction team's purview. We will do a live auction as well as the silent auction. So that's the silent auction. Oh, one thing more about that. If you have something that you'd like to donate, please, there's going to be it's not really a form, but you can email auction@crossroadscolorado.com and tell them this is what we want to donate. We want to, if it needs a description, $100 gift card to, the 4th Street Chop House doesn't need much of a description, but a weekend at my condo in Vail, a picture and a description would be wonderful. So if you have an item, or somebody, or a business. I was at the fly shop this week. Surprise, surprise, that I would visit a fly fishing shop. And I'd gotten to know the owner, and I said, hey, Dan, we're doing this fundraiser at our church. Would you consider making a donation? And he goes, yeah, we'd love to, so he's going to donate a rod and a reel. So I think, he said, I have to ask Jim. And anyway, he said that what we usually do is a rod and a reel. I go, that's pretty good. But that was somebody who I didn't, they didn't come to our church, but it's like, yeah, no, we're a community minded group. So if you have a business, invite them to give. And I didn't even get to explain what the money goes for. He just said yes right away. I didn't get to tell him, hey, this is for addressing these big problems in the world. So, okay, any questions about the auction? Okay. At each of these meetings, we were good. Does anybody have any questions about the gala? I'll ask that one. We're now.
I guess I
Go ahead, Shelby.
I think the thing I get a little hung up on in thinking, like, if somebody were to ask me this, is like, so we're collecting all this money, and then it's to combat the 5 unacceptable truths. What if they want specific avenues of how that's gonna happen or look?
Like, what's their money specifically going to go to?
Yeah, how's
There
it
will
gonna
be-
circulate back into doing that?
In the atrium, there's going to be a partners display. Okay, so all over the atrium, there will be, again, Wendy could tell you more. My understanding of what's going to be is a lot of pictures of ministries that we're a part of. So Lago Vista and the Bread Team and Hope Builders and, Ride for Alzheimer's and Poland and Ukraine. And we'll be communicating. These are our current partners. And some of what you give or commit to giving will go to these. Puerto Rico. So there's a global and local expression of these. Some of the money that's given will be for partners we don't know who they are yet. They will come to us in this coming year and say, does what we're doing align with your mission? And would you give some money to this? And this team, that's what the grant is for, the grant application. So if somebody says, hey, would Crossroads consider giving some money to thus and such, alternative, Habitat for, Habitat for Humanity. We don't, they're not a partner right now. So this team would look at it and go, do we have a local person at Crossroads who's going to champion this? Or are we going to have to drive this ministry from this team? And I'm not saying it's always has to be either or. It just is always better if there's a local champion from the church who has a passion for this. Like that ride for Alzheimer's, there were two people who were very passionate about doing that. One was the daughter and one was the director of the ride for Alzheimer's in the area. All we had to do was give them a space, right? And then they came. We didn't give them any money. We probably won't. I mean, who knows? So the money will go to current partners who are addressing the 5 unacceptables, and we'll have a video that night. That's a kind of a visual image of some of our current partners. There will be, our website will be updated by then so that people can go and see, okay, here are all the partners. We'll probably just have the name in the program. Everybody will get a program, but there won't be much room for a description of all of our partners. So if they want the description, they'll need to go to our website and see, okay, these are our current partners that where these monies are going to be going to. Does that help? Okay, good question. Always ask questions. Okay, so
Stuff with Lago Vista?
say it again.
Are you guys still doing your stuff with Lago Vista? I know like a year or two ago you were.
Yep. In fact, this coming 2 weekends, we're featuring them in the weekend program at service. Another thing we're doing is we're beginning to feature one of our partners in the weekend program. So we're gonna, leading up to the gala, we're introducing these partners to people.
Okay.
So that, I mean, you got to come. I mean, it's something. Okay.
Gotcha.
So that people will go, okay, I know what some of these partners are.
Yeah.
Good. One other thing, the next meeting, we were going to do an unacceptable at this meeting, but because Wendy was supposed to do it and because we're missing a lot of our team, we're not going to do it. I had thrown something together, honestly, on fear of the other after a conversation with Ryan Howell today, but I decided we'll just save it and we'll come back to that one.
What's it about?
It's fear of the other.
But what other?
Fear of other people, fear of, we identify 3 groups in our vision statement. The fear of the other, people who are gay, women, and people of another race. Okay, those are, so racism, sexism, and homophobia are the 3 others, but there's a lot of others.
No, I know. I just wondered what your specific one was tonight, but we'll do it later.
Yeah, and mine isn't very specific. Mine's just, why do we fear? What is this all about? Why are we so us, them oriented? What is it about our makeup, their makeup that creates fear and lack of inclusion, lack of welcoming, lack of belonging? In fact, Ryan said this on Saturday. He was at our men's group. He said he thinks the most important belief is that everybody belongs. I thought that's something to chew on for a while. Everybody belongs. So anyway, we're going to save it for our next meeting, which will be the Monday before the gala. So there you
Are
go.
we gonna have more meetings coming up leading up to it though?
The gala meetings will be by team.
Okay. Oh
So,
yeah.
So if you're on a team, you'll be meeting with your team. Like I meet with the auction team every week. We still have to set those up, but we're gonna be meeting every week with the auction team. The visionary lunch team is meeting. The creative team is meeting every week, except when Wendy is so sick.
And the hospitality team is sloughing off here.
They are. Oh man, they need to get it in gear.
Yeah, we are. I was hoping I wasn't missing anything, but I think
You're not missing anything.
okay, good.
Yeah. We did have a contact from Carlos's assistant about plane tickets, so you'll be getting in touch with him and them in a minute. Aren't you doing the They book their own tickets, so you don't have to think about that. We just pay
Okay,
for 'em.
that's good.
Yeah, we just pay for them, and then but the hospitality when they get here.
Yeah, that one felt like the urgent thing that has to be done yesterday. So,
Yeah, the flight.
So
Yeah,
the flights are booked.
his assistant is doing the flights. I saw an email trail to Ryan Howell about booking the ticket, so you don't have
Okay,
to
good.
you don't have to worry about that. Once we discover what time he's arriving, then I think again he's going to stay with the Howells. I think so. They'll provide some of the. Well, no, they won't. They're at Red Feather,
No, they
so who
won't.
knows what they're going to do. So we'll see. We'll see about the hospitality side. We might need to find them a place. I mean, we can use a hotel, but sometimes people don't like hotels. They want to stay with people.
And sometimes people don't like to stay with people. They like hotels.
Yes,
So,
exactly.
yeah.
Our go-to is to offer a hotel.
Yeah.
Just because you're already on, that's enough. We're grateful. We're not going to ask you to, play nice with a couple people you've never met before, unless that's what you really like to do. Then
Yeah.
we'll arrange it. So, okay. I'm going to stop the recording.